for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for
Please remain standing for the presentation of our nation's colors by Air Force ROTC Color Guard from the University of Houston.
Urmează acum imnul Statelor Unite, The Star Spangled Banner, care va fi interpretat de John Legend.
Ready, cut. Ready, poke. Cover. Hold. Freeze it. Hook.
And now, here to perform the Star Spangled Banner, please welcome 9-time Grammy winner,
Compozitor și actor
John Legend.
Este câștigător a 9 premii Grammy.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Imnul Național al Statelor Unite provine din poemul Defense of Fort McHenry, un poem scris în 1814 de un avocat amator, Francis Scott Key. Muzica îi aparține lui John Stafford Smith. John Legend este câștigător a 9 premii Grammy și este asociat cu Jay-Z, Kanye West, Eminem sau The Roots. Plină de lumini, plină de culoare, plină de fum, prezentarea celor două formații. 5 jucători, spuneam, debutează în All-Star Game în componența Estului, un lot mult mai tânăr față de conferința de Vest. Acolo un singur jucător debutează în cadrul All-Star Game-ului. Cele mai multe selecții între jucătorii din această noapte. Kobe Bryant este la 15-a selecție, 15 de asemenea pentru Kevin Garnett și 14 pentru Tim Duncan. Doi jucători francezi, Noah de partea Estului și Barker de partea Vestului. Un jucător britanic născut de drept în Sudan, Luol Deng, la a doua selecție în cadrul unui All-Star Game. Tim Duncan, de menționat și el, este născut în insulele Virgine. Componența Vestului, titularii provin în mare parte de la formațiile din Los Angeles, de la Clippers și Lakers. Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, Dwight Howard și Kobe Bryant, alături de vicecampionul NBA, Kevin Durant, cel mai bun marcator al ligii în ultimii 3 ani și de asemenea cel mai bun marcator al ligii și în acest moment la al 4-a selecție în cadrul All-Star Game-ului. De partea cealaltă, startul titularii în componența Estului sunt formați în mare parte din jucătorii lui Miami Heat. 3 jucători de la Miami Heat: Dwayne Wade, LeBron James și Chris Bosh, alături de Carmelo Anthony, jucătorul lui Mirotic, și de Kevin Garnett, cel mai în vârstă jucător în tabăra Estului, 36 de ani, acea selecție. Rajon Rondo este ales de fani titular. Rondo s-a accelerat când a mai jucat 2 sezonuri și a fost înlocuit în cadrul All-Star Game-ului de președintele legii David Stern, Brook Lopez de la Brooklyn Nets. În locul său ca titular, însă, onoarea i-a revenit lui Eric Spoelstra, antrenorul Estului, alegând în propriul său jucător pe Chris Bosh și locul lui Rajon Rondo. Ne așteptăm la o confruntare foarte, foarte spectaculoasă și foarte dinamică, pentru că sunt anumite rivalități deja create, deja bine conturate. Sunt jucători care trebuie să demonstreze ceva și fiecare are propria lui luptă. Oklahoma împotriva celor de la Miami, Bryant împotriva lui James, Durant împotriva lui James. Are și el ceva de demonstrat, mai ales de swing-uri drepturi foarte pentru momentul Dwight Howard, care ar putea fi expediat din Los Angeles într-un transfer de ultim moment, joi. Săptămâna viitoare, joi, este termenul limită pentru transferul în acest sezon și vor avea la o siguranță câteva mutări foarte, foarte importante. Lakers în momentan doar pe locul 10 în conferința de vest, cu record negativ, punând locul 8, care se află în posesia celor de la Houston Rockets. Cei din Houston au și un favorit astăzi și să fim atenți la omul care va veni de pe bancă. A fost rezerva anului precedent, a fost expediat din Oklahoma în Houston și este un adevărat erou în acest moment. Omul barbă, James Harden, cred eu că face un meci mare astăzi în fața propriilor fani. Să sunt principali marcatori în ligii în acest sezon.
Anthony, who's brought the Knicks back to prominence, and of course, the old guard, Kobe Bryant. Who knows what he'll do?
Reggie, as I mentioned, you were a 5-time All-Star. Think back to that first time you walked into the East All-Star locker room back in 1990. What was that like?
Well, they always say you remember your first. We heard Eric Spoelstra say, don't be afraid, you first-timers. Well, I'm walking into an East locker room, 11 future Hall of Famers. And I have one thing for Kyrie Irving. This really was his coming out weekend. He was unbelievable in the Rising Stars Challenge on Friday. Wins the three-point shootout. If you're a Cleveland Cavalier fan, you have something to smile about. So Kyrie embraced the moment here, but I hope he loaded up his camera and took plenty of pictures, because that was something I didn't do in 1990 with all those Hall of Famers.
Well, the East has won 36 times. The West has won 25. The West has taken the last 2 and 3 of the last 4. The West winning it last season in Orlando, 152 to 149, which is a common all-star score. These days, West leading all the way by as many as 21, and as usually is the case, it's flamboyant basketball. I guess that would be the proper word for it, through the first 3 quarters, kind of schoolyard play, and then they dig in, and things tend to change in the fourth quarter.
It is a glorified pickup game. Obviously, you've got the best of the best here. You just look at Celebrity Roll. This is a tough ticket to get, but you're going to see some of the best basketball you probably will have ever seen in the world tonight.
And this, an all-star game that dates back to 1951 at the old Boston Garden. The concept encouraged by Walter Brown, the original owner of the Boston Celtics, and incidentally that first all-star game won by the East, as Easy Ed Macauley of the Celtics won MVP honors. Joe Lapchick of the Knicks was the winning coach, which brings us to today's play. As you look at the guys warming up, getting ready.
wonder if LeBron James gets nervous even in a hyped game like this, Steve.
I'll bet he does. You know, I think every competitor out here gets the butterflies. They can't wait to get out here and play. The thing I love about LeBron and Kobe is that both guys have embraced the All-Star game over the years. They play hard. They want to win. They want to put on a show.
All right, to get things going, we will hear now from Chris Paul and Dwayne Wade.
It's been a real honor and privilege to be here with all the All-Stars in the community here in Houston this past few days.
And tonight, what better way to celebrate our great game? So we want to thank Houston for being unbelievable hosts, and please enjoy the game.
Dwayne Wade and Chris Paul addressing the crowd. And right here, let's check out the All-Star starting lineups presented by Kia Motors. For the East up front, LeBron James having another extraordinary season. Carmelo Anthony, the NBA's second leading scorer, 15-time All-Star Kevin Garnett. In his 9th All-Star game, Dwayne Wade. And Chris Bosh named to replace the injured Rajon Rondo in the starting lineup, making it 3 Miami players as starters. For the West on the front line, the NBA scoring leader Kevin Durant. From the LA Clippers, Blake Griffin. Dwight Howard making his 7th All-Star appearance. And at the guards, Chris Paul, one of the league's premier all-around players, and Kobe Bryant, 4-time All-Star MVP and a 15-time All-Star. The officiating crew, Ron Garrett's in his 26th season. It's his 2nd All-Star game, and Rodney Mott, and one-time NBA player Leon Wood, these days working as an official and working very well. Both guys in their very first All-Star appearance.
Leon actually took part in the three-point contest years ago. I think that was the famous year when Larry Bird walked into the locker room and said, "Who's finishing second?" Well, Leon was one of the other competitors playing for the Washington Bullets at the time.
Your name at the bottom right. See that video screen right there? You can see
Head coach of the Eastern squad is Eric Spoelstra of the Miami Heat.
What you think of the game?
And the Western head coach Brett Popovich of the San Antonio Spurs, his 3rd All-Star coaching appearance. And for Eric, it is his first, although he was an assistant when Stan Van Gundy threw the nod. There is Eric, only 37 when he became the head coach, and back in 2008 made it through intense scrutiny, but seemingly grew into the job, is greatly respected, and with the support of Pat Riley and the amazing work ethic, he is now a championship coach.
Done an amazing job, and I think, you know, we talked about this a little bit yesterday during the practices. I think when a coach wins a championship, it allows him to be himself. He can now not have to worry about the criticism and all the speculation, especially with a high-profile team like Miami's. And Eric has really evolved and emerged as one of the best coaches in the league. He's creative, he's dynamic, and he's really kept that Heat program kind of on the right path throughout his tenure there.
Talking earlier with Greg Popovich, he said what he finds most intriguing is how different guys react to each other in the locker room.
That's what makes All-Star games interesting, because during the regular season, you're trying to trip, elbow, and hit your competitors.
Really, speak for yourself. You were doing that.
Well, yes. I was doing that.
That's like a confession.
You want to talk about it some more?
This is very therapeutic for me, guys. Thank you for allowing me to vent a little bit.
The West controls as Chris Paul faces LeBron James. James opening at the point. Paul to his LA Clipper teammate, Blake Griffin.
You think about Rondo being out of the game and Chris Bosh replacing him in the starting lineup. The only way you can do that if you're Eric Spoelstra is because you have LeBron James. He's so versatile, he can play any position, so just slide him over to the point.
Here's Bosh from deep, coming up with air. That was a 3-point attack. And Durant of Oklahoma City moves it down. Kobe Bryant for 3. Rebounded by Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo suffering an arm injury the other day. In fact, comes off a 5 of 24 and said he had a dead arm. So it'll be interesting to see how he does here tonight.
Especially a shooter with a dead arm.
Pick and roll between Paul and Griffin. They've accounted for the first 2 field goals.
How about the show they put on Thursday night against the Lakers as Anthony lines up and misses the 3? But what a season it's been so far for the LA Clippers behind these 2 guys, Chris Paul and Blake Griffin, the most dynamic pick and roll combination in the league. And they have taken over Los Angeles.
39-17, second in the West. Coming off decisive wins against the Rockets and the Lakers. Garnett, too strong, comes back to him, and he fires again. Kevin Durant with a strange game this past Thursday night as he knocks down his first shot from downtown. He was 0 for his first 7 against Miami, the game that we did right here on TNT in Oklahoma City. And Miami on its way to a blowout, and then Durant, as Anthony is able to connect, scores 24 points in the fourth quarter, comes up with 40 for the game. And as we were talking about the other day, is it possible to have a mediocre 40-point game?
Well, maybe for us mere mortals, Steve, but for a Kevin Durant, it wasn't an awkward game for him. He got off to that slow start. Remember that spill he took there in that first quarter. He's a gamer.
Carmelo with the high dribble gets it down, and Wade.
I always like watching these coaches on the sideline, during the All-Star game. They're so concerned defensively during the regular season. And all of a sudden, every principle goes out the window. But before long, Spoelstra and Popovich are going to get frustrated with what's going on out there.
Chris Paul had about 5 minutes to think about that shot, and knocks down a 3. Paul with the steal. Try to drop it, he does. Put it behind him. He heard footsteps, and it happened to be Kobe Bryant.
Well, what do you love about a lot of these?
Here we go.
Oh, my goodness.
Little backdoor pass from Wade to teammate James.
The scoring is one thing, but you're going to see some of the best passing in these games as well, because a lot of times these guys don't get a chance to really pass the way they would do if they were playing on the playground.
Here's Paul again for 3. And it certainly helps that it's not quite the same defensive play you would see in a regular season game until the fourth quarter.
Well, if anything, sometimes guys will overpass in these games, but this is a perfect little trick through the legs, and then the drop pass to Kobe. And we get a quick foul here on the inbounds pass. But this is a game just set up for Chris Paul. I mean, the way he orchestrates out in the open floor, all this talent.
How many times have we seen that in practice between those guys?
Foul on Bryant and LeBron James at the line. And obviously those of you following the NBA on a regular basis are aware of the extraordinary season that LeBron has been having, and this on top of many other remarkable seasons. He had that streak, 20-plus points, 33 straight games to start the season. He had a streak stop the other night off a late missed shot where he had scored in 6 straight games, 30 or more, and shot 60% or more.
I like after the game when he said, well, all good things must come to an end. He had 39, 12, and shot 57%. Wasn't that bad.
How about player of the month? 4 straight months. No one's even come close to winning player of the month.
Bosh on the assist by Wade.
So, Steve, now I put you on the spot. Does he win his 4th MVP?
Oh, I think so. A couple of weeks ago, I would have said maybe Durant, just because, he'd be the popular choice, kind of because it's his turn type of thing. There's Kobe on the fadeaway, but I think with what LeBron has done in the last 2 weeks, he's clearly proven that he's a big step ahead of Durant, I think, at both ends of the floor. And I think LeBron is well on his way to that 4th MVP.
Reggie, don't you find that Steve isolates his opinions like every 2 weeks? It's another candidate.
Ask me again next week. I may go with
Because you
Carmelo.
were liking Tony Parker there for a little bit, and then you went to Chris Paul. And
never mentioned either of those guys, right?
3-on-1, and LeBron James set up by Carmelo Anthony. Here comes Durant to the rim. The West with a 16-11 lead. 5 minutes gone by. Anthony with no hesitation from downtown. Carmelo Anthony averaging 29 a game, shooting 40% from three. Paul was looking for Bryant. And we have our first substitutions by way of the San Antonio Spurs. Tim Duncan and Tony Parker come on for Dwight Howard and Blake Griffin.
Greg Popovich told us before the game that he's going to let his assistants chart out and handle all the substitution patterns. And it's a tricky thing, I think, for every all-star coach to try to keep everybody happy. Obviously, all 12 guys are deserving of minutes, but it can't quite work out that way.
So Tony Parker right to it. San Antonio Spurs at 42-12, best record in the NBA, and Tim Duncan has had one of his best seasons. And we're talking about a guy in his 16th NBA year. Tricky dribble there by Paul.
Greg Popovich made a great point today. He said Duncan, and I didn't know this until I looked at the stats, Duncan is on pace for his most blocked shots ever in his career.
Oh, what a reverse stuff by Kevin Durant.
Well, I might say that might have been one of the best dunks we've seen, even from that from that slam dunk competition last night.
Carmelo Anthony gets inside.
There's a better pure score. I understand that Kevin Durant is leading this league right now. He's led the league the last 3 seasons in scoring. But Carmelo Anthony is, to me, is a different breed when it comes in terms of putting the ball in the basket.
Foul committed by Wade as we see the pass from Anthony to set it up for James. And at the other end, in his 4th All-Star game, his 3rd start. Parkton, Houston, Texas. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Everything Goodyear has learned, making tires for game-changing traction, inspires what we rolled into yours. Goodyear, more driven. Let's check in with Craig Sager. Craig.
Well, 7 first-time All-Stars, and no one is savoring the moment more than 30-year-old Tyson Chandler. He's won an NBA championship, an Olympic gold medal. He's been named the Defensive Player of the Year, and he's led the league in field goal percentage. But this was always his most painful weekend of the year. He said it was too painful to watch the game. He'd find some remote island where there was no TV. After 12 years in the league, he has finally made it. Now over to the West and David Aldridge.
Well, Craig, you heard that Reggie say that may be a coming out party of sorts for Kyrie Irving, but James Harden has been the unofficial mayor. Oh, LeBron's kicking me off the court. I guess I'm done. Back to you, Marv.
David, don't accept that. They're shooting free throws.
He could have just done the report from the sideline. He didn't really have to be in the middle of the lane.
He wants to be part of the action, Steve. But I would like to know what island, because I want to book my tickets to wherever Tyson Chandler is going with no TV.
No TV?
My goodness, the 3rd world country he's going to, perhaps?
So James Harden has checked in. He heard it from the crowd as he made his way from the scorer's table. Zach Randolph of the Memphis Grizzlies has come on. Kyrie Irving, the outstanding 2nd-year player from the Cleveland Cavaliers, on the floor for the first time for the East. Bosch for 3. Chased down by Irving. Bosch on the spin. Hands to Chandler. So both Anthony and Chandler going for that tip.
That was a pretty good possession both ways, defensively and some semblance of a play as Zach Randolph knocked down an 18-footer.
I think both coaches are going to try to draw the play out of timeouts, and that's probably the only time you'll see anything that looks like a set.
And both coaches indicating as LeBron rims out on that 3-point attempt, they'll draw the play, but they wonder if it'll be followed.
Yeah, good point.
Walker had it knocked aside. Here comes LeBron, and he puts it down. substitution leading to the dunk.
Well, and how about a little glance back to see who was trailing, and it so happened to be Kobe Bean, number 24, Bryant, on his heel.
The only guy capable of chasing LeBron down and blocking his shot is LeBron. So I don't think that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, that's what we got. Kyrie Irving being played here by Tony Parker. Irving shoots a 3. Bosh over Harden. And again, an air ball.
It's his second air ball. He's not shy coming into this starting lineup. Chris Bosh already put it up 4 times, including a couple of three-pointers.
He has been on a red-hot shooting tear as of late, but he tried that 3 from the corner, then another 3 right here. Substitutions. Joakim Noah, Luol Deng of the Chicago Bulls have come on, and Paul George from Indiana. Here's Duncan O'Reilly will shoot a 3.
Well, you know, Greg Popovich will rarely draw up a 3 for Tim Duncan during the regular season, so why not try to impress your coach by shooting a 3?
Oh, he's not impressing him by doing that, Reggie. I think he's trying to get away with it. Look at him. Look at Pop. Like, yeah, now is okay, but better not do that come next week.
Russell Westbrook has also come on for the West as Harden goes off the back rim. 23-18, the West on top as we approach 3 minutes to go in this opening quarter. Nice move by Irving.
How good is Kyrie Irving? Ball handling skills, fundamentally. We saw his shooting on display in that 3-point shootout.
I think he's already the most skilled point guard in the NBA as Westbrook misses on the 3. Chris Paul's a better player. You know, Rondo's probably a better player right now, but nobody has the same skill set as Kyrie Irving.
Dang getting it down low. George missed on the reverse. Here's Chandler and a foul.
Well, you talked about the best player in the league, Steve. LeBron James he's just on a different planet right now. West up 3 early on in the first.
The 2013 NBA All-Star Game is being presented by Kia Motors. Well, courtside seats with a number of familiar faces here throughout the weekend. There's Chris Tucker. And a look at Diddy. Those of us close to Sean refer to him as Diddy. Neo, who did a terrific job performing pregame festivities, and Jay-Z and Beyonce.
What'd you call him, Steve? The King and Queen?
King and the Queen.
Yeah.
Beyonce's probably enjoying this, just being able to relax after having to be on stage at the Super Bowl a couple weeks ago.
What a performance that was.
Tyson Chandler on the line off the foul a moment ago by Tim Duncan as we take a look at the NBA National Television Big Board. Full slate of games across the NBA networks. NBA TV, Tuesday, Celtics and Nuggets. Wednesday, ESPN, Hornets and Cavaliers, and the Celtics playing at the Lakers. Lakers coming off a blowout at the hands of the Clippers the other night, although they have won 8 of their last 12 games. Westbrook got it down low, but Randolph rejected. Paul George, who has become the face of the Indiana Pacers. Danny Granger is sideline, and George has had a terrific season.
He does a little bit of everything. Scoring, rebounding, which has really impressed me. Distributes the basketball, and you see Joakim Noah. You know, we talk about these All-Star games, and they're predominantly offensive driven, but how does Joakim Noah and Tyson Chandler, they only know how to play one way, Steve, defensively. So this is kind of odd for them to be on the floor where it's an up and down game, but they only know one way and one motor.
Yeah, but you know what I would point to is Kenneth Faried the other night in the rookie game. People are not going to box out in games like this, so there will be plenty of offensive rebounding opportunities for Noah and Chandler. Because in general, not a whole lot of intensity defensively or checking out, around the basket.
Westbrook gets the friendly roll. So the West back in front. Here's Irving going at Parker. And the rebound is grabbed by Aldridge, who just came on. Parker. Randolph surprised to get that pass and then put it down.
It's a great set of hands, and that's how Zach Randolph really survives. He doesn't jump well, he doesn't run well, but it's uncanny just how as good his hands are and his touch around the basket. He's able to score right over the top of people and he gets position.
Here comes Harden with the lob. Westbrook on the receiving end.
Former teammate James Harden. How many times a few years ago did we see that? Harden to Westbrook.
Once again, Harden handles. And he goes all the way. Noah comes up with it. Gets to his teammate Dang, try to flip it back, deflected, recovered by Irving. On the hop, nice pass. He got Dang with the bounce. The West up by 3. We're final minute, first quarter. LaMarcus Aldridge of the Blazers. And here is Noah, the open court, finding Dang for 3.
One thing you don't have to say in an All-Star game is 2 for 1. It's probably going to end up as like 4 for 3.
Got a 3-second differential between the game clock and shot clock. Nice move by Westbrook as he flies by George.
He plays point guard, but to me, his real skill set is a shooting guard.
Yeah.
Hesitation dribble by George with time running out, and it has run out. So that is the end of the first quarter. 62nd All-Star game here in Houston, and the West with a 31-26 lead, 8-2 run by the West. To end the quarter, the High Point men 7 apiece for LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, and Kevin Durant. To the second quarter, they hit 14 of 28, 50% shooting. In the first quarter, the East just 11 for 29, 1 of 10 for beyond that three-point line. You can play NBA Challenge presented by State Farm during the course of tonight's game. Predict the action before it happens. You can build a streak, climb your way to the top of the leaderboard, get to a better state by playing along at NBA.com/NBA Challenge. East ball as second quarter gets underway. Drew Holiday of the 76ers on the floor for the first time. Here's Dang, and the tip missed by Noah. Rebounded by Randolph. The West with Russell Westbrook at the point. Westbrook and Harden in the backcourt. Aldridge with Durant and Randolph up front. Here is Westbrook. Yes.
The Oklahoma City fans are thinking what could have been with Westbrook, Harden, Durant on the floor once again. Got to the NBA Finals, losing to LeBron James and Dwayne Wade in 5 games.
Noah's able to get inside. James Harden is playing through a sprained left ankle, but he told head coach Greg Popovich he wants to play as much as possible. This is George off the steal and hammers it down.
I'm interested to see the Pacers, Reggie, down the stretch. You know, Danny Granger may be back soon. You think about the defensive versatility with Granger and George. And, of course, their biggest challenge would be going against the Heat. Those two guys, in theory, you know, can match up pretty well as anybody with LeBron and Wade.
Well, they're 2-0 versus the Heat this season, and the reason for that success is because their bigs, David West and Roy Hibbert, really have pounded, and you hear everyone as Durant knocks down a three. The way to beat the Miami Heat is pound them on the glass, and they've won the rebounding wars with them this season twice.
Holiday misfiring on a three-point attempt. Noah able to come up with it and is rejected by Aldridge.
Noah's turning around looking at the officials looking for a foul. This is not Chicago. This is the NBA All-Star game. They don't call fouls here.
James Harden with his first field goal. Sixth man of the year last season. The unofficial host of All-Star Weekend. He's been a busy guy.
Yeah, he has. Saw a stat coming into the game the other night. It's Irving gets right to the rim. Wow, what a move by Kyrie Irving. But how about James Harden? He has the most fast break points individually of anybody in the league. And he's like 98 points ahead of anyone else. It's just remarkable. It's just not just him. It's sort of the style that the Rockets are playing, too. That fast break pace. Fun to watch.
Irving. It counts, and the foul. The speed of Kyrie Irving setting it up for Luol Deng.
Yeah, Steve, you talked about handles. To me, the best handles in the game, I thought were Chris Paul, but Kyrie Irving, especially in the open court. I think he was telling Saker after that Rising Star Challenge game on Friday that he works out with a basketball and plastic bag or something.
Yeah. Well, then he goes and wins the three-point contest last night when that's not even really his strong suit. To do it all.
Some pretty hot shooting in that three-point contest last night. Here's Harden. Oh, what a move by James Harden. Steve, I think, as a one-time winner of the three-point shootout, you had to be impressed with Irving and Matt Bonner of San Antonio, Steve Novak of the Knicks.
Yeah, I mean, in that contest, George knocks down the jumper. You get 17 points or so. That's a pretty good score. Last night, they were routinely guys getting 18, 19, 20 points. It's a good show.
The outlet for George ahead of the field and then chased down by Harden. David Lee, meanwhile, has checked in for the first time as George is able to hit that baseline shot. Another strong season for Lee with the Golden State Warriors have been one of the surprises. Durant able to hit Westbrook wanted it.
Oh, man.
Cuff it and put it down, but could not find the handle. Nice pass.
Drew Holiday. I mean, that's a surprise sneaky dunk right there.
I didn't know he had that.
Drew with the left. First All-Star game. First round pick of the Sixers back in 2009 after a year at UCLA. Here's Lee with a flip shot.
Think about some of these young point guards in the East. You've got Kyrie Irving, you've got Drew Holiday, Derrick Rose soon to be back, hopefully this season. That Eastern Conference, boy. Night in and night out, you're going to have your hands full. Darren Williams, though he's not young.
Rondo.
Speaking of Darren Williams, who is not an All-Star this season, has been playing hurt. His teammate Brook Lopez of the Brooklyn Nets just checked in.
Well, James Harden in front of the home fans doing his best Manu Ginobili impersonation. I don't know how he gets that footwork to work and get to the rim, but impressive move. And then at the other end, shocking Reggie even, his fellow UCLA grad. You had to know he had.
Yo, that's well. Well, you do a great job. Congratulations. Keep up the good work and keep up those hard-hitting questions like Milk Duds and M&M's, yeah? Perfect. You guys make some noise for Ryan and Jayla, the hardest working kids in all of Houston.
No, he didn't. I don't know.
Amid the Houston Rockets power dancers, here are some great
take a look at the All-Star MVP Flashback presented by Kia Motors. And this year marks the third time the city of Houston has hosted the NBA All-Star Game. 1989 at the Astrodome, Karl Malone scoring 26 points to lead the West to a 143-134 win in Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's final All-Star appearance. And Malone won MVP honors. And then 2006 here in Houston, LeBron James with 29 points to lead the East to a 2-point victory. LeBron won the MVP at age 21, the youngest ever All-Star Game MVP. And Tracy McGrady, then of the Houston Rockets, was high scorer with 36 points. West with a 1-point lead, coming up on 7.5 remaining in this first half. Marv Albert, Steve Kerr, Reggie Miller, Craig Sager, and David Aldridge working the sideline. Chris Paul and Blake Griffin back on the floor. And the steal by Wade, who just returned. Carmelo Anthony also back. Here's Irving for 3.
Listening to Popovich before the game, he said usually you can tell within the first 2 minutes of the game who wants the MVP award the most. I haven't really been able to locate
it's kind of
anybody.
hard.
Yeah.
Ball has moved. No one's really doing too many isolation plays. It's been very competitive.
Although Chris Paul continues to pick up the assist by feeding his teammate Blake Griffin. That's assist number 5 for Paul.
How many times has Clipper fans seen that Chris Paul with that penetrating gets into the lane and looks like Blake Griffin just slips to the basket and throw it near the rim.
Here's Harden on a reverse. Durant is right there, and Kevin Durant leading the way with 12 points. Carmelo Anthony from Drew Holiday. Paul gets it down in a hurry. Here's Harden open for 3. On the hop, it's taken by Lopez. And Irving with the lob. Wade with the bucket. Once again, it's Paul on the setup, this time for David Lee of the Warriors. Crossover by Wade. Durant kind of waved at it. No help defense,
well,
Reggie. Where's the rotation?
You were being kind on that, just waved at him. He didn't even make an effort at that one.
I saw the hand moving, Reggie. Okay. And here's Durant around Wade. So the game is tied at 50. Timeout is taken by Eastern Conference head coach Eric Spoelstra.
Well, everyone in LA saying there's a new sheriff in town, and it doesn't go by the name of the Lakers. It's the Clippers, led by CP3, Blake Griffin.
How about that? Did you just see that? He just popped the sledgehammer. Duncan with 12.
Dance. They're like 9 years old and they know the actual dance.
On a mild 59-degree night in Houston, we welcome you back to the 2013 NBA All-Star Game with the great NBA Challenge presented by State Farm. During the course of tonight's game, predict the action before it happens on the NBA Game app. Here is the question. Which player will have more points by halftime? And to this point, the vote very much in the direction of LeBron James. Let's go to Craig with Kevin Garnett.
Well, thanks, Marv. 7 first-time All-Stars, and then there's KG in his 15th. What do you remember most about your first one?
Craig, what's up? What'd you say?
What do you remember most about your first All-Star game?
My first All-Star game? Gary Payton. Gary Payton made me comfortable and made me nervous all in one. You know, he cracked a lot of jokes. He kept it really light. But at the same time, he gave me confidence when I got out there. Gary Payton was a big part of my my first experience.
How much does it mean to you now after 15?
It means a lot, man. You know, especially when you're voted by the fans. You know, I told Coach I don't want to play that many minutes, and I'm cool out here to watch the young guys. I'm honored.
How are you going to carry the Celtics in the second half after the injuries to Rondo, Sullinger, and Al Barbosa?
We're going to do it together. That's how we've been been doing it as of late. We've been doing it together. I feel like, you know, although we're undermanned as far as numbers, when it comes to fight, we're here. So I like our team, man. I like us a lot, actually.
Well, thanks a lot. 15 All-Star games and counting.
Hey, man, stop wearing stuff like this when you do real interviews. You hear me? Straight up.
What's wrong with it?
Like a Christmas ornament. You're getting dressed like this, Craig. You're getting dressed like this. You got to stop that, man.
All right, thanks for your tip.
I like Craig with a straight face saying what's wrong with it. Incidentally, Kevin Garnett and Carmelo Anthony spent quite a bit of time this past weekend. You may recall the alleged trash talking by Garnett directed at Carmelo earlier this season that led Carmelo Anthony trying to get at Kevin Garnett after the game at the Celtic bus, but both players say all is well between them. Reggie, did Spike Lee ever try to make his way to the Indiana Pacer bus?
I wish he would have. I wish he would have. Interesting comments there by Kevin Garnett saying the Celtics obviously with the injuries.
There's your guy.
Oh, God, don't start that. We've let things go. But he talked about the injuries, and we're going to do it together. A lot of reports out there coming from Clipperland, possibly trying to make a trade, and he's like, he has a no-trade provision in his contract that you cut his veins, he bleeds green. He's not thinking about any other team but the Boston Celtics.
But won't you think if there would be a trade, since he does have a home in the area, Blake Griffin from Kobe Bryant, so a Laker and a Clipper getting together on that bucket. And there's been talk of DeAndre Jordan, Eric Bledsoe being involved. It's all speculation. As LeBron James able to knock it down from the corner.
Trade deadline Thursday.
I don't think the Celtics should do anything. They've got a magic with their team right now, even with the injuries. They've found something special. I think you kind of owe it to your fans to really complete the deal here. Let's see how far we can go. Let's let KG and Pierce retire as Celtics. You got a lot of good young talent on that team anyway, and then rebuild when the time comes.
Here's Anthony spinning in. Paul with a beautiful pass.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I know Chris Paul is not even looking to score, but his passes have been on point tonight.
9 assists for Paul, and meanwhile Durant 19 points. I mean, that guy just scores when he falls out of bed.
8 of 12 from the field for the 19 for Durant. Wade on a fadeaway. That's a 2, had a foot on the line. An excellent shooting second quarter for both teams. Now Paul goes baseline off the head fake. Faked out Bosch, but a foul.
Threw his legs on that? We got to get a replay of that one.
I believe he did. Look at this.
Yep.
This is what you call dancing right there now. I don't know which one is worse. What Kyrie did to Brandon Knight on Friday night, making him fall, or if you're Chris Bosch going through the legs when Chris Paul is skating on you.
Brook Lopez called for the foul.
There's a name for that in soccer, and it slipped my mind right now that when you dribble through the defender's legs in soccer, there's a term for that. Somebody's going to have to look that one up.
Well, just tweet it out. You're a big Twitter guy.
Is it nutmeg?
Oh, Marv, nice.
And James flips it up.
Marvelous. How did you know that? Come on now, Marv. Come on. Marvelous. Marvelous. Are you kidding me?
Doubt.
Showing us the depth. No wonder you're in the Hall of Fame, my friend.
The alley-oop from Bryant to Griffin. No, I must confess, there was help. The alley-oop the other way. And it's Wade. Our producer, Scott Cockrell, right on it. There was no Googling involved. It was right there. Dwight Howard. And the West is up by 3 as we approach 2 minutes to play in this first half.
Tell you what, I'm loving the action here in this first half. I think at both ends of the floor, both teams are competing. They're looking for one another. We're getting some exciting plays.
Well, as long as it is close going to the fourth quarter, a game will break out, a real game.
Yep.
Blake Griffin, 12 points for Griffin. Hitting all 6 of his shots, all 6 happen to be dunks. Most of them set up by his Clipper teammate, Chris Paul. And a timeout is taken.
Well, these two guys, the front runners, even though it's early for an MVP trophy. Paul with his 9th assist, Durant with his 18th and 19th points. And this is a common scene here. Blake Griffin with another dunk.
Get everybody minutes, totally fair for everybody tonight. So everybody's going to get in the game. And we're also going to win.
I'm going to be playing out there, right? I ain't trying to be sitting on the bench, man. Man, you better go to work. Have you shot one yet? Yeah, I missed my first. I missed my first.
All right.
Let's go. There we go, bro. Hey, man. Let's go, big fella.
Yep. Joe, we got you, man.
And that's Brook Lopez, obviously just delighted to check into his first NBA All-Star game. Stay in the know on all the second half action with Bleacher Report's Team Stream app. You can download today by searching Team Stream on your phone's app store. I mentioned a moment ago that both clubs have shot well here in the second quarter. The East 15 for 25 and the West 16 of 23 from the field. LeBron trying to get it down low, deflected out last touched by the West. 5 on the shot clock for the East, a minute 20 left in the first half. West up by 5. Carmelo Anthony for 3 and a foul. So 3 free throws coming up. Foul committed by Griffin. Carmelo an 83% free throw shooting. He's had a career season, although his play has dropped off recently. Had that arm injury bothering him in the loss at Toronto on Wednesday night. And the Knicks has struggled as of late. There have been a number of injuries. Look to be a very fragile club as you look at some of the, particularly from some of the older players.
Well, we've known that
off the bench.
Yeah, we've known that all season. I mean, they've relied on, Rasheed Wallace earlier in the year, Jason Kidd, who had a terrific start to the season. He's maybe tailed off a little bit. I think the All-Star break couldn't have come at a better time for 2 teams. 1, the Knicks, 2 for Golden State. Both teams need to regroup a little bit. And Reggie, you were usually at the All-Star game, but I can tell you as a player who usually have the 3 or 4 days off, it's unbelievable how you can recharge your batteries just having that time off.
Whoa! Griffin not able to control that pass. Here's Bryant. And back comes James. LeBron puts it off the backcourt. A pass intended for himself did not work. 2-on-1 the other way. This time it's Paul with the layup.
Well, Chris Bosh was going to make sure he wasn't going to be on anyone's highlights, so he took Blake Griffin out of the play right there and forced Chris Paul into the lay-in. Is everyone going through the legs of Chris Bosh?
Too.
I mean, enough is enough. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I mean, this is getting a little ridiculous out here, Chris. I mean, they're having fun at your expense. First it was Chris Paul. All right, fool me once. That's shame on you. But you come back and someone else does it. I mean, Tony Parker's just laughing out here.
Is that in the scouting book? Chris Bosh picked up his second foul off that second through the leg attempt. The West with a 69-61 lead. And a reminder coming up at halftime, entertainment featuring Grammy Award winner Alicia Keys, who happens to be a Texan. Wade with the lay-in, although born in Dallas and then raised in Chattanooga and Atlanta. A mini concert is coming up as Wade takes it away. Wade for Chandler. Tyson Chandler of the Knicks. Off the pass that was above the rim.
This is when you see the athleticism at its best. I mean, that's your 7-1 center running the floor and finishing plays.
West play it out. We're final seconds of the half. Anthony defending against Bryant. Out of one, Kobe fires. So that's the end of the first half, with the West leading the East 69-65. Kevin Durant, a high point man with 19 on 8 of 12 from the field. Blake Griffin with 12, 6 of 7, all have been dunks. Chris Paul, 9 assists. Kobe Bryant has 7 assists. Dwayne Wade with 12 points and 6 assists, 10 apiece for Carmelo Anthony and LeBron James. Let's go to David Aldridge.
CP, why'd you do Bosh like that, man?
What you mean?
Went between the legs on the baseline?
Me and Tony was just talking about it. The way that he's guarding us, that's the only thing that you can do. I mean, he's jamming you up so close, that's the only way you can get by.
First half, 9 assists, a lot of them to your teammate Blake Griffin. The degree of difficulty increasing with each one. What are you seeing out there that allows you to have that kind of confidence?
Well, in one of these games, it's very up-tempo, fast-paced, and like I told KD, if they just run, I have fun, assisting and passing on the ball. So it's a fun game for me.
See you in the second half, sir.
All right, dear.
All right. Marv, back to you. And Mr. James can expect a letter from the firm of Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. I suggest he reads it.
Yeah. All right, David, we'll take a quick break here, and then the Sprint halftime report with a special performance from Alicia Keys. Welcome back to the 2013 NBA All-Star Game on TNT, and aerial coverage has been provided by Goodyear. Everything Goodyear has learned making tires for game-changing traction inspires what we roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven. The West with a 4-point lead as we head to the second half. Marv Albert, Steve Kerr, Reggie Miller, and a red-hot shooting first half by the West. 31 of 55, 56%. How about 23 assists on 31 field goals? And the leading scorer, Kevin Durant, with 19 points.
8 out of 12 shooting, and he was on fire right from the beginning, looking to score at every opportunity, knocking down this three early in the game, and then he got plenty in transition, too. You see the reverse dunk there. Obviously, not a lot of defense being played, so a guy like Durant is going to go crazy, and it could be shaping up to what we talked about early on, LeBron and KD going head-to-head.
Well, a very pedestrian first half for LeBron James. 4 of 8, only 10 points, but I have a feeling in this second half, LeBron James is going to try to put his imprint on this game. He is, in my opinion, the best finisher in the open floor. And you see some of the athleticism. We take a little peek back at his running mate in Kobe Bryant, Olympic gold medalist, but I have a feeling his fingers are going to be all over this second half, Marv.
I'll look at the statistics. 49% shooting for the East, 28-57. So they picked it up. I mentioned the 56 by the West. And otherwise, things pretty even except the assist column with the West led by Chris Paul with 9 assists and Kobe Bryant with 7.
I like that points in the paint number. That's like a full game usually. 49. That's a lot for one game. But here we are at halftime. But I would expect both teams to tighten up defensively when the fourth quarter comes and the game is in the balance.
5 ties, 10 lead changes, which is unusual for an all-star game. Both starting lineups back on the floor. East in possession. Here is LeBron James.
Talked about him trying to put an imprint in this second half. Nice high archer shot right there. Chris Paul with those 9 assists in that first half. The NBA All-Star record is 22 by Magic Johnson. And he is on the back of his mind.
One change for the East. Kyrie Irving is the starter instead of Kevin Garnett. So Garnett's minutes will be pushed back. Paul with a series of fakes and then throws it back out, and Durant comes up short on a 3. So the East now with a genuine point guard on the floor. Here's Anthony for 3, kept alive by Wade. Pass off the mark. It's a 3-on-2. Paul tries to loop it. Griffin with the catch and puts it down. 71-67. The West on top. And off the layup, Dwayne Wade adds to his totals 14 points and 6 assists for Wade. Minute and a half gone by. Third quarter. Bryant going at Irving. A one-on-one move out of the playground by Kobe.
Well, reports out, Kobe saying he has 2 years max left. He believes as LeBron James 5 quick points here in this third period. But the way Kobe Bryant's playing at such a high level, why put a ceiling on it, Steve, with only 2 years?
No reason to. But you know what? He can change his mind. Sure. And a few athletes who have done that over the years.
Durant being played by James. Here's Durant. Back comes Wade, trailed by Paul. Wade going high off glass. Paul whips it down. Griffin can't handle the lob. Kept alive. The save by LeBron. Irving lost the handle, stepped out of bounds.
Reggie, I think you're right. LeBron has picked it up here. Now watch this move. This is like a dream shake right here. A little fadeaway a la Hakeem Olajuwon, who has tutored LeBron James for a couple of summers in a row. There's Hakeem.
He just looked over here. I think he heard you. He's about ready to walk over and say, how dare you say that was a dream shake. Come on, Steven.
Come on, just a slight resemblance.
Steven, as Wade knocks down a 3.
He only says that when he's feeling very stern.
I gather that.
I was trying to be like Mom.
I've never heard that.
Come make up your room, Steven.
Did that not look like a little bit like a dream shake, Reg, or no?
That looked like a dream, maybe Ramba.
What did that look like?
A 3-pointer for Dwight Howard.
He did the Russell Westbrook little signature move and pointed at Westbrook as he did it after that shot went in.
Well, Duncan attempted a 3 early in the game, which may not have been appreciated by his coach, Tim Duncan.
There's the Westbrook move, pointing at Russell, who gets a good laugh on the sideline.
Howard during the regular season, 1 of 4 from 3-point range.
Boy, if I'm Mike D'Antoni, I'm looking at this All-Star game saying we've got to run some plays then. He fits right into a D'Antoni system.
Yeah, I don't think so. No?
Pick and pop.
Okay.
Wade with a deep 3. Bryant puts the speed on. Here's Bryant behind the back to Griffin is stripped. It'll be West ball. And here's Dwight Howard. Yes, getting ready for All-Star play with a hook from the backcourt.
I'm sure Laker fans are watching this going, maybe you could just make a free throw.
No, they're saying, what about that shoulder injury? Bosh with the stuff. I mean, that's a real good way to work it out.
Dwight, it's not me. You see how these two guys are throwing you underneath the bus? Laker fans are saying, make a free throw, and Marv throwing darts.
I have a feeling there might be a lot of support for that statement in Los Angeles.
Just speaking the truth, Reg.
The West with a 1-point lead. Anthony got the step, and he's fouled by Griffin.
Tell you what, you don't want to be guarding on the perimeter in this game or any All-Star game because there is zero help behind you.
The first team foul.
Carmelo Anthony to the line. Well, 3 legends on one big night. Watch All-Star Monday with special interviews featuring Michael Jordan, Bill Russell, and Charles Barkley. That's tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on NBA TV. And there is Hall of Famer Bill Russell, winner of 11 championships.
I loved a couple years ago when Bill Russell was asked, hey, if you played in the NBA today, how many points would you average? He said, I don't know, about 10. I said, 10? I said, well, I am 75 years old.
That's the old line that all the guys use.
It's a great line. It's worth repeating.
Anthony checking that he's behind the three-point line and knocks it down.
Just as you heard the story. We got millions of people watching.
Well, I'll tell you what, if he's averaging 10 points at 75, someone sign him up now.
Durant for 3. Getting back to Monday night, Ahmad Rashad with the interview of Michael Jordan, celebrating his 50th birthday today. Charles Barkley turning 50, had the surprise party last night.
That was great, wasn't it? Marching bands and cheerleaders.
But he didn't realize it was his surprise party.
He thought it was just like an entourage. People are just following him like that. Come on, Chuck.
Just another night for Charles. Wade getting inside. Pretty move by Dwayne Wade. Wade is 21, 9 of the 21 coming here in the third quarter. And the East up by 1. Duncan comes to Griffin. Looked like he's setting up a three-point shootout. He dribbles into the corner.
He's taking part of the skills competition Saturday night.
Ball 8 points, 13 assists. James for 3. We saw quite a bit of that in the night against Oklahoma City. Hall with the bucket and a foul. And a timeout is taken.
How about this crossover here by Dwayne Wade, right to left. Knocks Kevin Durant off balance. We got Tim Duncan coming over late, high off the glass, setting up for an exciting finish here in Houston.
Well, I think myself and other guys in the NBA are so involved in communities that we play in because we understand that if it wasn't for others helping us get to where we are today, we wouldn't be successful.
We try to be as hands-on as possible.
To see kids' smiles and to see them have that unforgettable moment.
It's pretty indescribable, you know, the feeling is priceless.
It means a lot to know that you can help somebody.
I want to continue to just, try to get back and try to be the best person I can be.
Back in Houston, how about this for a photo op? The commissioner with one-time Rockets Yao Ming, Hakeem Olajuwon, Dikembe Mutombo, NBA Commissioner David Stern, who took over from Larry O'Brien back in 1984. It's been a remarkable 30-year run for David. He will retire February 1st, 2014, as Chris Paul completes the three-point play. Incidentally, one-time NFL Commissioner Pete Rozelle held the record for longevity, nearly 30 years as commissioner, so he will be surpassed. And it will be Adam Silver, the deputy commissioner, taking over for David Stern. And Adam, an overwhelming choice. to get the slot. His 22nd year with the league. He's made a major impression on the owners and players. And they have such great respect for him. Adam was the lead negotiator during the lockout. He was the commissioner sitting next to the commissioner of TNT Sports, David Levy. Adam was the lead negotiator, as I mentioned, during the lockout, and he replaced Russ Broderick. And we sent our congratulations to Russ, who moved on to private business. Russ named to the Hall of Fame as a contributor yesterday, or Friday actually, the one-time key executive with the NBA over a 30-year span.
Congratulations to Gary Payton, who's in the building as well, who's on that list.
How about Richie Guerin, the one-time Knick, and all should have been in there many years ago. He was selected by the Veterans Committee. Is that off the foot of the official, the motto?
Sure was.
Yeah. Let's go to David Aldridge. David?
Dwight Howard, that was a quality three-pointer. Who was your three-point coach there?
Me and Bob McAdoo. We were talking about it earlier. Working on my shot. He said I had to make sure I put a little touch on it and follow all the way through, and that's what I did. Like I've been telling you, you need a three, give it to me. Wow. That's what I told Blake. You need a three, give it to me.
You pointed at Westbrook as well. Did he help you out at all?
No, I was pointing at Tim Duncan because we had a little something going on. See if we can hit a three first. What you guys doing? We're talking. Nothing major.
Talking during the All-Star game?
Yeah.
So, are you going to play a little bit more tonight, or are you done?
I don't know yet. Depends on how my wrist feels for the three. I'm really thinking about that and working on that. And
he seems to be copying you.
He is. This is no kid commercial.
Mars.
All right, there, David. We'll try to figure out what the clock is talking about.
You know what? I've changed my position. I'm with you guys now. Laker fans, you do deserve a little bit better than what we're seeing from Dwight Howard.
Here's Parker for three. It has been a tumultuous year in L.A. for Dwight Howard,
to say the least, and for the Lakers. And the story now is LeBron throws up a wild shot, but the story is what happens? Do they re-sign him? The trade deadline's less than a week away. I think the Lakers will hold firm. That's what Mitch Kupchak has said. We'll see.
LeBron James with that three-pointer a moment ago. Over the course of his All-Star play, and this is his 9th All-Star game. He's 3 of 6 from beyond the three-point line tonight. Of course, in the earlier years of All-Star games, three-point shot not in existence. Zach Randolph will just check back in, able to play at home. The West up by 3.
I'm curious to see how Memphis is going to be in this second half. Obviously, we know they traded Rudy Gay to Toronto. I thought they got some fabulous pieces back, and Tayshaun Benson there. Was that crossover by Joakim Noah?
Well, he so well. For a 7-footer, Parker had it slapped away, then able to recover.
Well, that's because of that early tennis pedigree from Pops. I think moving his feet.
With the pass to Lee, you're talking of his dad, Yannick Noah, all-time French Open champ. James Harden from downtown. Yannick won the 1983 French. He's been honored as a member of the International Tennis Hall of Fame, and his mom was Miss Sweden back in 1978. There's a crossover by Joakim Noah.
Look at this. If you're Zach Randolph, come on. You got to play a little bit better defense than that.
Just in time for the upcoming schedule presented by Dark Skies. Good one on TNT Thursday night. Doubleheader, Miami Heat playing the Bulls in Chicago. And then the San Antonio Spurs with the best record in the NBA playing the Clippers in LA.
Exciting matchups there. A lot of storylines too in the second half of the season. Will Derrick Rose return to the Bulls coming off that ACL injury? And Spurs and Clippers, man, you'll be there, Reg.
Check out Dark Skies in theaters on Friday. We'll be in Chicago for the Heat and the Bulls.
Well, you two will be.
Yes, we'll be
Kevin,
in LA.
Carlin, and I will.
Stephen and myself will be.
There you go.
Reginald will be in Los Angeles.
Westbrook gets inside.
What a move there by Russell Westbrook. Using that offhand there with the finish.
Paul George of the Pacers able to connect from downtown. Paul George averaging 17 points, 8 rebounds, and this is his first All-Star season.
What's going to be interesting is when they integrate Danny Granger when he comes back with that injury. Lance Stevenson in the shooting guard position, and Paul George had moved to that small forward. So now George goes back to his native natural position at, however, look at this move here by Russell Westbrook. Extension, athleticism, use the left hand off the glass.
And his former teammate James Harden hitting the three, his second straight three, has 10 points. This is Holiday of the Sixers. Here comes Westbrook. Lee set the screen. Westbrook not able to hit. Rebounded by Noah.
I think that's going to be another interesting storyline, is to see Oklahoma City in the playoffs, to see how much they do miss James Harden. Kevin Martin has been a terrific replacement, but a different style of player.
Here's Harden again for three. Coming up on a minute remaining in the third quarter. Dang from downtown. Rebounded by George on the hop. Dang lays it home.
Nice unselfish play there by Paul George.
Parker and Westbrook now into the backcourt. Parker. Tony Parker of the Spurs. 6-point edge for the West.
Parker just having a spectacular season. And the Spurs in general, just so much fun to watch. Greg Popovich using his bench probably more than anybody in the league. Right there with the Clippers, with Kenny Del Negro. So much depth, and passing, and shooting. Fun team to watch.
Spurs with 42 wins, 42 and 12. Nice pass, and Lee puts it down. David Lee in his second All-Star appearance. I like the nickname that Shaq, who is the master of coining nicknames, gave to David Lee a couple of years back, the human double-double. And that has been the case.
Well, Steve, you mentioned the break coming out at the right time for the Golden State Warriors. A little bit of a slide with a 6-game losing streak. A lot of people wanting David Lee along with Steph Curry to be in this All-Star game.
Yeah, and Steph Curry definitely has a beat, but the problem is everybody who's here on the West is worthy.
Yeah.
So there just weren't enough spots.
Final seconds of the quarter. You mentioned the Warriors. They are 30 and 22, the 6th in the NBA. Holiday, yes, with 0.2 of a second to go. And that'll do it for this third quarter. Oh, would not have counted. At the end of three, the West 108, the East 104. This 2013 NBA All-Star game. Kevin Durant is the high point man with 24. Wayne Wade leading the East with 21. You're watching the All-Star game on TNT.
Let's see if your ball's gon' fall. I'm taking mine. Now is the time. Hungry, you've been told. East and West Coastal, going postal. Action, who wants that roll?
Well, you can vote for the Kia NBA All-Star MVP. All you have to do is text the player's last name to Dunks 38657. Tweet hashtag Kia All-Star MVP with the player's last name. Go to NBA.com. Moments ago, this was Erik Spoelstra talking to his team.
Let's get after it and make sure that this fourth quarter is something that you guys all want to be in, okay, and put on a real show there at the end.
Let's get this lead. This group right here, let's get this lead, okay? It is go time now. The last 12 minutes, go time.
Absolutely, and you want to keep the game close to the fourth period and really let these superstars take over and show their natural abilities and play at the highest level.
108-104, the West on top as this fourth quarter gets underway. Backdoor pass attempted by Aldridge. Here comes George with a high step and rebounded by Lee. Back comes Parker. The West on the break. Westbrook pulls it up and hits. 6-point West lead. Chandler and Noah up front. Lee with the steal. Westbrook kicks it back. Here's Harden from downtown. Yes. 13 points for Harden. That's his third three-pointer. As Holiday comes right back going glass.
That Harden three is not an easy shot. You know you got somebody coming behind you who's going to challenge it, and you just feel him, but you got to get the shot off before the defender gets him.
Aldridge. And Noah pulls it down.
So I've been impressed, as Erik Spoelstra was telling this unit, the second unit, the hustle. They're playing at both ends of the floor here, especially defensively.
Westbrook with that high dribble, cutting left, gets inside, and was stripped. Stripped by Holiday. Westbrook preventing a fast break.
Brewing on Bruin right there.
Well, you can play NBA Challenge presented by State Farm during tonight's game. Predict the action before it happens on the NBA Game Time app. Which team will win the game? And the West in front has a 64% edge.
Feeling LeBron James and Dwayne Wade are going to have something to say about that.
Luol Deng of the Chicago Bulls on 10 points.
Well, Kevin Durant might have something to say with that, about that too, Reg and Chris Paul. Both coaches will probably come back mostly with their starters down the stretch.
Greg Popovich talked about possibly having Harden on the floor with that starting unit in place of Dwight Howard, hometown, unofficial host.
Russell Westbrook with a high flip out of reverse.
Reg, you said it earlier. I'd like to see him play off the ball a little bit more. He's so acrobatic and explosive. But if he played with a point guard who could set him up, might be a nice combination.
Here comes Harden, led by Deng, and Harden banks it home. And James Harden has come on strong in the second half.
I mean, he is so strong in the open court with that shoulder and chest. Yeah. He goes right and takes the contact right in the body.
With Lopez way off.
And Jay-Z said, wait a minute now. Come on.
Here's Parker. Out the road. Brook Lopez has had an outstanding season for the Nets.
One scorer center in the Eastern Conference. I thought he should have been on the team. I know he's replacing Rondo, but the coaches should have put him on.
In place of? You always have to say who it's in place of.
Let's go. I don't quite want to go there yet.
Well, then you know, I'm just saying, if you're gonna say he should have been there, somebody has to come on.
That'll count on the foul. Lee called for the grab and Chandler to the line.
Not letting you off the hook on this one.
You want me to call someone out? I will. But unfortunately, we got to go to a commercial. All right. I'm getting ready to tell you who it should be. Look at the nice move there by Russell Westbrook. Nice reverse there. This is who I think he should replace. Now, a lot of thinking and the thought process has gone into this, but it
They roll into yours. Good.
Make some noise, Houston. Bust a bus. Bust a ride.
The West with a 119, 111 advantage over the East. Biggest lead of the game. West led briefly by 10. 7 ties, 22 lead changes. We take a look at the NBA National Television big board Tuesday night on NBA TV starting 9 o'clock Eastern Time. The Celtics in Denver against the Nuggets, and Wednesday at ESPN doubleheader, Hornets, Cavaliers, Celtics playing the Lakers in LA. Harden on the bounce. Lee fires it back out. Here's Parker for 3, rebounded by Westbrook. They get the new shot clock. Dang defending on Westbrook. Dang, an excellent defender under normal conditions. Westbrook's shot is off, and Lopez able to get to it. Kyrie Irving of the Cavaliers, watched by Parker. 8 minutes to play in the fourth. West trying to make it 3 straight wins, 4 of the last 5 over the Easters. Irving is able to knock down a 3-pointer.
Doing that hot shooting from last night in the 3-point shootout, which he won.
10 points for Kyrie Irving. He's within 4. Turnover, giving the ball back to the Eastern Conference, and now substitutions by Greg Popovich. We'll see Kevin Durant, Kobe Bryant, and Blake Griffin check back in.
Eric Spoelstra wants that same play again, which was a high pick and roll, which was swung to Kyrie Irving. Seems like he has the hot hand.
Tony Parker gambled on that play and tried to go for a steal when Brook Lopez was the guy at the top, and that's what allowed Irving to be open. This time Parker stays home.
Irving again connects from deep in the corner for a 3-pointer. 9 straight points for the East, and they're within a point. Bryant played by George. Kobe goes to the fadeaway. Rebounded by Chandler. Irving getting into the lane. He's looking for a foul. Durant knocks it aside, comes up with a steal, 2-on-1. Durant for 3. And now they're playing basketball. There's no question. You can see the hustle. You can see the defense is picked up.
And the stars are back on the floor now. LeBron just checking back in. Got Kobe, KD for the West. Here comes Dwayne Wade.
So LeBron moves it across, gets the pick from Chandler, and fires. Paul for Durant. Kevin Durant soaring off the lead pass from Chris Paul. Irving pulls it up, and that shot way off. Picked up by Lopez, and he is fouled.
I wasn't sure if Tyson Chandler was going to try to test Kevin Durant. This might have been a regular season game, Steve. Just got out the way here.
Yeah, you don't contest that in an all-star game. Too much can go wrong.
Foul committed by Durant. 2 shots for Brook Lopez of the Nets. Well, you can catch all the action of NCAA March Madness. Every buzzer beater, upset, and bracket busting game beginning on March the 19th on True TV.
I mean, this tournament's going to be unbelievable.
Wide open.
Wide open. And when I say this, literally, there are 20 teams. 20 teams.
Maybe more.
Seriously can get to the Final Four.
Yeah. I agree.
And it starts with the coverage of the first 4 from Dayton, Ohio on the 19th of March. That'll be seen on True TV. The West up by 1 as we approach 6 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. The teardrop by Tony Parker, one of his specialties.
Reggie, how many NBA teams can win it all, you think?
4.
Miami, obviously.
Miami.
Oklahoma City.
The
Spurs. And who's the other one?
Clippers.
I'm not quite sold on them yet. I like Indiana.
Wow.
I would throw New York. both of those teams to me can give Miami a run in the East because of their size. That's the only way you're going to beat Miami. You got to be able to beat them up. And my dark horse in the East would be Memphis.
See, you said 4, and you've given me like 17.
No, legitimate. Then I said dark horse would be 1.
Okay,
So,
fair enough.
Reggie, the hedging tonight is setting records. We'll take a break from all this.
I can't believe it.
This is embarrassing.
I'm just trying to hedge my bet a little bit, Marvelous.
2013 NBA All-Star Game is being presented by Kia Motors as we welcome you back to Houston, Texas. The West with a 3-point lead, just under 6 to go in this fourth quarter, and the fastest man in the world is here tonight, Usain Bolt. He's been part of the celebrity game on Friday night. How about Olympic gymnast gold medal winner Gabby Douglas?
Great fans here in Houston.
Cam Newton of the Carolina Panthers, and CNN's John King, who has been a regular during the course of All-Star weekends, along with Wolf Blitzer. And as your man, Spike.
Out of all the celebrities in this building, we're going to end with Spike. Are you kidding me?
You're trying to rekindle the feud? I see you guys hugging.
Low blow.
No, we're not hugging. We're trying to keep it respectful.
You know what?
The camera.
Of all the celebs here, he's probably the biggest NBA fan.
Absolutely.
Here's Durant. See Chris Bosh stepping aside.
Yeah.
125-120. The West on top.
Greg Popovich has gone to this small lineup that he told us he would, with James Harden on the floor and Blake Griffin as his center.
Telling us also that Harden would get the time as long as that ankle is okay once James is Durant with the slam, but he wants James to be in the spotlight here in Houston, where he has been the star of the Houston Rockets, averaging 26 a game. He's among the leading scorers in the NBA.
I was impressed at the detail with which Greg Popovich figured this out. Blake Griffin with another lob dunk pass from his partner Chris Paul. And Popovich went over every detail of why certain guys would play, and it just shows you how he approaches his job with the Spurs on a daily basis.
Wade looking to post, goes back door, beautiful pass for Irving.
Now you don't have to worry about it because not only is it a game, but you're going to go with your best players and who's been hot throughout this game.
How quickly does Paul get it down the floor? Durant not able to hit from downtown. Chris Paul certainly will be in the conversation for MVP honors with 15 assists along with 11 points. LeBron James trying to force his way in. Anthony is fouled.
How about this matchup here? Last 5 minutes, Kobe Bryant guarding LeBron James. And I'm talking about full court.
West is over the foul limit. The foul was on Harden.
And they're going at one another here. They're talking a little noise to one another.
Don't forget the way last year's game ended with Kobe guarding LeBron, and LeBron didn't take that last shot. He actually tried to pass it. It was stolen. Kobe was talking all kinds of trash that night.
Carmelo with 18 points. Coming up next right here on TNT, an encore presentation of the 2013 NBA All-Star Game. All you folks can hear Reggie continue to hedge throughout the telecast. And over on NBA TV, you can catch Ernie, Kenny, Charles Shank, and Chris Webber with Inside the NBA. Here's Paul. Nice move.
That's what separates him
from Kyrie.
The skill set, Kyrie might have him with the jump shot, the range, but boy, Paul has all those little tricks of the trade.
I think a little bit of Michael Jordan's comments. He'll take 5 over 1 is starting to play here in this fourth quarter between those two players.
Good point.
Oh, tipped home by Anthony. Carmelo Anthony has had a big game. 21 points, 7 of 13 from the field, 11 rebounds. Chris Paul's knee looks fine. He missed 12 games this season with that bruised right kneecap. Paul for 3. Chris Paul has been sensational. 16 points, 15 assists.
CP3 MVP.
Off the steal, Griffin took it away from Irving, and then he is fouled.
You know, it's interesting, the way Kyrie Irving in that Rising Stars Challenge kind of took that little personal battle with Brandon Knight and kind of embarrassed him. It looks like CP3 is kind of going at him that same way.
They say no foul, the ball was knocked out of bounds, and now the tie-up is Irving is able to get to Paul, and it will be a jump ball. Chris Paul overall is 6 of 8 from the field. 3 have been three-pointers, and he has the 15 assists, for the most part responsible for Blake Griffin's 16 points on 8 dunks. Here's Harden, nice move on a crossover. Could not finish, but Bryant is on it. Kobe has been quiet. Bryant puts a move on and scores.
Poor Chris Bosh, man. How many times has he been isolated tonight on these perimeter guys who are just too quick for him?
9 points, 8 assists for Bryant. The West up by 8 with just under 3 to go in the fourth. Oh, the block by Bryant. And Durant takes all the way.
And how about the look from Kobe Bryant on LeBron James? I guarantee you the comments by Michael Jordan are fueling this little tick for tack back from LeBron James and Kobe Bryant. Kobe's been D'ing them up for the last 3 minutes. Here's the block shot by Kobe, which leads to the fast break by Kevin Durant.
All your Harlem Shakers, NBA All-Star 2013.
Shade over 2.5 remaining in this fourth quarter. You see timeouts remaining as we take a look at the Taco Bell live mass play of the game.
Well, get a good look at this now, because you won't see this often. LeBron James getting a jump shot blocked. Kobe Bryant sending him to his left and timing it perfectly, and then feeding the ball to Kevin Durant for the finish.
Kevin Durant with 30 points. He is the only player in All-Star history to score 30 or more in 3 straight All-Star games. Last year he was MVP of the game, certainly in the running here tonight. But those 15 assists, along with 16 points from Chris Paul, stand out to me.
Yeah,
absolutely. If the West holds on here. Anthony off the double pump, and he's fouled by Durant.
You know, interesting on that play by Kobe Bryant. I was reading the Bleacher Report. There was a story by Timothy Rapp, I believe, with Michael Jordan breaking down LeBron James' games. And he studied him, and he said that every time he goes left, he pulls up for a jump shot. Every time he goes right, he's finishing. And he said he would just force him left every time, because if he goes to his right, he's so much stronger, and because of his strength, able to finish. And it was interesting right there, seeing him going left, pulling up for a jump shot.
Reminder to vote for the Kia NBA All-Star MVP. Text player's last name to Dunks 38657, or you can tweet hashtag Kia All-Star MVP. The player's last name will go to NBA.com. Mention the 15 assists by Paul, the All-Star record 22 by Magic Johnson. And the game at 84 in Denver. Paul backs it up.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, my goodness. That seals it.
Oh, my goodness, yeah, he's got to be the MVP.
That's your man.
He has to be.
That's his 4th three-pointer. Wade from Noah. They swing it. Here's George for 3. George of the Pacers from downtown. He's 6 of 11, 14 points.
That was a big 3 right there. Just when you thought the West was getting ready to run away with this.
Ball gets inside. Back tap by Griffin. Minute and a half to play. Here's Durant off balance.
So much for pulling the ball back out and running some clock.
Noah handling and collided with Paul. Another 3.
This is very interesting here. 2 back-to-back threes from Paul George.
5-point game. George 3 of 5 from beyond that three-point line. He has 17 points.
If only the West had a go-to player on the floor.
Oh, Griffin is taken out of play by Wade and a foul. It's on Wade.
Look at Noah. Come on.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I got you all right, big fella. Look at Chris Paul trying to guard the 7-footer Noah. There's a little bit of a chicken wing.
So Griffin to the line, 66% free throw shooter. Third All-Star game, second time he has started.
Continues to evolve, and he's gotten better this year. I think he's gotten more efficient. His jump shot's gotten a little better. He's shooting it quicker. To me, and we talked about the Clippers earlier, Reggie, to me, they'll be a championship contender when Blake becomes Karl Malone. When you can throw the ball in the block and say, get me a basket.
As we see 68 combined three-point attempts, an All-Star game record. Here's Griffin putting off glass. Blake Griffin with the assist and the bucket.
And you're telling me we can't see that on Saturday night one more time? Just one more time.
A dunk contest, Blake. How about Blake versus LeBron?
That's all I would want.
Yeah.
Just one time. Money goes to charity.
Kobe all over James. It's rejected.
Kobe's making this personal against LeBron.
It's deflected out of bounds, and it'll be East in
This
possession.
is personal.
And here they go, isolated. LeBron spins his way. Goes with the left hand and is fouled by Bryant.
You get the feeling this is like going to be Kobe's moment against LeBron. You know, a lot of people thought maybe they'll meet in the finals. Well, that's probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
So this is his moment to go head up. And with King James, and he has really done an amazing job defensively the last 7-8 minutes, just
And
going
that ball,
all out.
That ball was out on
It
LeBron
was.
James.
LeBron his first point of this fourth quarter.
Kobe's loving this. Kobe is loving this. He's over here talking to Steve Kerr, saying he can't score on me.
Is that really what he said?
Yeah, maybe not. I'm embellishing. But I'm trying to start something here.
You are trying to start something.
Hey, that's how Jay-Z and Drake and all these other rappers in here, you start saying the little things and you get it going.
Intended for Griffin, but tossed off the mark. 25 seconds to play. Here's Anthony for three, and he has been on fire. Got a 4-point game. Paul is fouled, grabbed by Noah. The East over the foul limit.
Gotta find shooters. The West was just scattered there on the defensive end. And Chris Paul to the free throw line, assuming he's going to make both of these.
Well, 88% from the line.
Yeah, 21 and 15, that should get you the MVP, Mark.
Yeah, I would go with Paul.
Meanwhile, all the San Antonio assistant coaches are over there just about ready to erupt because that paycheck you get on the winning side means an awful lot to those guys.
Absolutely.
A lot more than for the players, for sure.
Well, hits one of two. And a timeout has been called. 20 seconds, 20.4 to be precise. Remaining, the West up by 5. You're watching the 2013 NBA All-Star Game on TNT.
Second of all, you have to be an athlete, you got to drink a lot of milk. You know, I can only hope that some of these guys get the experience what I've experienced as being a team-time MVP in the game of basketball. Tonight I feel like I'm flying, I don't think ever sometimes this ball playing for the game. As well. LeBron James as well, tough crowd. When you talk about the thing about this is that right there. Okay. The fact is, I could easily run out there and try to score 50 points and get 30 rebounds and get 10 assists. But I said, why? Why do that when I can make my team better? And that's what I did as a team. MVP 2 times in a row. Kevin Hart, I love everybody.
Your MVP, your sprint celebrity, NBA All-Star MVP 2 times, Kevin Hart. We are in for one fantastic minute.
Chris Paul kind of stealing the show here tonight. Has been spectacular, just setting up his teammates. And in this case, literally his teammate, Blake Griffin. But there's Tim Duncan. There's Griffin again. Here's the drive, the fake pass, and the shot. And now lining up Noah for that three. Paul with 20 points and 15 assists. By the way, that's only been done 2 other times in All-Star history. Listen to these names. Magic Johnson, 1985. Isaiah Thomas in 84.
Down to 20 seconds. George for 3. He's been hitting the 3, not that time. And Durant with the rebound, and that'll wrap it. The West will make it 3 straight wins over the East, 4 of the last 5, and they do it by the score of 143 to 148. And as All-Star games go, looking at it as a measuring stick, when you look back at some games that have been blowouts and really not competitive, this is a pretty good one.
Oh, very competitive. I thought both teams gave the effort at both ends of the floor. Yeah, I know people are continuing to vote, but to me, Chris Paul stood out. I thought he did a good job of getting his teammates and everyone else involved.
I thought the other thing that stood out was, and you said it when it was happening, Reggie, the Kobe, LeBron little battle going on there. The last 6-7 minutes was fascinating to watch. Kobe, just the ultimate competitor, not backing down one bit.
And Chris Paul, 20 points, 15 assists. We have him as our choice as MVP, and if that's the case, will it be Chris or Cliff accepting the award? We'll take a quick timeout. Commissioner David Stern will present the Kia Motors NBA All-Star Most Valuable Player Award. We'll be right back.
To be one MVP with 20 points, 15 assists, 4 steals. Chris Paul is the most valuable player of the 2013 NBA All-Star Game.
好，那么现在呢 ，David Stern 也正式宣布啊 ，Chris Paul 这场比赛呢是20分、15个助攻，另外有4次的抄截，拿下了这场比赛的最有价值球员。
没错，颁奖人是 Commissioner David Stern， 是他最后一次啊以 Commissioner 的身份来颁这个奖项。
You just never expect something like this. You know, all these great players that I have the opportunity to play with. It's an honor and a privilege.
You came into this game as the all-time leader in All-Star history in assists per game.
第8次来入选明星赛，也是他首度在这个明星赛拿下最有价值球员。
It means a lot. Anytime you're mentioned with those guys, is
打这场明星赛之前已经是明星赛啊。
You get a chance to get out on
这个平均助攻次数最多的球员啊，超越了魔术强森啊。今天有15次的助攻啊，我想这样子的一个成绩会继续保留下去。
What was going on between you and Kevin Hart?
其实过去的明星赛从06年开始，我们看到很明显，就是 LeBron James 跟 Kobe Bryant 两个人一直在互别苗头。
He said it, I did. Here's your
MVP
of the All-Star Game in 2013.
10年是让 Dwayne Wade 拿下了 MVP，11年又是 Kobe Bryant， 到12年，去年则是 Kevin Durant， 今年我们恭喜 Chris Paul， 生涯首度在明星赛获选为最有价值球员。
All right, Ernie, as it turns out, and what we saw on the screen graphically was correct, he is the first Clipper ever to win the All-Star MVP, but the predecessors of...